Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Okay, so this is a quick video. I will be streaming in less than an hour for a continuation of my first time playing through Halo. But, so I'm not obviously going to have time to make a thumbnail or whatnot, but there is a PSA I need to explain for shotguns specifically, and specifically no backup plans. This is extremely important if you plan on running a triple shotgun setup ever. Um, this is also kind of important for Slayer's Fang as well. Especially now that I finally have the role that I was looking for. So first and foremost here, no backup plans. It states that when you have a Void super equipped, that is a condition. Rapid shotgun final blows are defeating a powerful combatant with a shotgun will grant a Void overshield and start health regeneration. We're not going to worry about the damage buff for now. So there's a couple of interesting things here. Certain perks on shotguns do not proc it. So here I have Hatchling on here. We're going to have to take this a little bit on the slower side. But as you'll see later, that just gave us an overshield instantly, but we're going to wait for our overshield to disappear. But on Supercluster here, I have Hatchling. I need to wait for it to run out. So we want to have a Hatchling happen. So that technically can help Rocket. We're going to wait for our overshield to run out, of course. Then I'll shoot until I get a Threatling. And when that Threatling attacks something, that's when I will... It did not make a Threatling, so we're going to wait a hot second. We're going to wait here. No Threatling still. We're going to wait a hot second. Because there is a little bit of a... Let's just put down that overshield barricade. Still no Threatling. We're going to wait a hot second. Hatchling is not enhanced on this shotgun, so... Still nothing? Hatchling is hella random sometimes. Okay. There we are. There's a Hatchling. There, instant overshield. So we're going to let ourselves get killed here. So Hatchling actually does work with no backup plans. So if you have a shotgun with Hatchling on it, specifically a strand one, the Hatchling itself, especially if it gets a multi-kill or something like that, Hatchling actually does count. I'm assuming this is because the Threatling's source is from the shotgun. And Hatchlings are, well, Threatlings are not a debuff, which is why I'm assuming that works. If you have a stasis shotgun with headstone, this one is a little bit more complicated. By the way, if you're running a triple shotgun setup, you have to run tractor cannon or okay, we're gonna try to aim pretty carefully here. Headstone is not a very good perk for this. Instant overshield. So headstone does work, which is interesting. Okay, we're gonna take care of these. We're just gonna clear these out. So if you look at the bottom left, you'll be able to see the timer. So 8. Instant refresh. Okay, so there y'all see it there. Headstone does work for a similar situation, for a similar reason hold on a second. So Headstone does actually work. Same with Hatchling, because the source of the stasis crystal is the weapon itself. So that's why. However, if you were to throw down a, let's see here, we'll equip a Void Super here. We'll equip Glacial Grenade here. Just to show that it's not gonna that it probably won't work with Glacial Grenade specifically here. Because the source at that point, it counts as grenade damage. It doesn't count as anything else. But while we are here, I'm going to show you Incandescent is finicky. Incandescent is a little finicky. Okay, I hit two of them there. So that's my bad. We almost actually have our okay, we're gonna shotgun these two so they don't annoy the shit out of me. I need to separate them. The thing with incandescent is it's a little bit more difficult to separate them. So I'll attack that one. Okay, well, at least you can see this here. See, that did not proc our overshield there. So the source of the actual, the source matters. The source matters. Now, incandescent does make it quite easy to add clear with the cyclo shotgun. We're gonna let this enemy die, but see, it doesn't really. You're already gonna be getting rapid kills anyways, so incandescent doesn't, in and of itself, doesn't proc. So here we'll test and see, you know. I need an enemy to get scorched though. So if an enemy dies from a scorch quickly after getting the incandescent shot, it does count. So again, so multiple enemies die from scorch. Right there. You saw it proc. Incandescent is quite finicky. Incandescent is a little finicky. It's just the enemy has to die from the scorch. Has to die from the scorch from the shotgun. If it's from an ignition with incandescent, it's not going to work. Now the last few destabilizing rounds. Destabilizing rounds does work. Sort of. Most of the time, however, well, we'll throw that grenade. We're going to die there, but volatile rounds is a little bit kind of finicky because if you have repulsor's brace, you are incentivized to shoot a target that's volatile. We're gonna go for this wizard here. Trench barrel. Alright, so there's that done. Alright. Perfect, you're on your own. Shooting one does proc it. Volatile does proc it. And I will say, this shotgun's actually quite good. So I do recommend testing out the shotgun here. But if you melee, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So let's try to get a destabilizer around here. So if I melee here, I think as you saw there, it doesn't extend the duration of the overshield. That is defensive bulwark or something else doing that. Alright. So the last few things, we're going to perish from Burden Riches, but... So yeah, destabilizing rounds only works if you do it quick enough, but you do have to use the shotgun pretty regularly. Now, the two that are interesting is Volt Shot and Chain Reaction here. So these are the two we're actually going to be looking at, and the main reason why I wanted to do this video. So, this one has Volt Shot. This one has Volt Shot. Do keep in mind, the incandescent one has some weird conditions, same with Hatchling. Headstone is the most reliable one, but we have Volt Shot here, right? Actually, I don't have enough ammo to proc Volt Shot. That is an inherent issue. There we are, we got some special ammo, but I need a little bit more. I will say, if you can land your headshots, damn, this can be insane. Especially on prismatic. Hell, 7 rounds. I will say, I'm not a huge fan of Headstone. Okay, it didn't give us literally a single piece of shotgun ammo. I will say, if you have volatile rounds on a Void Shotgun, that's, like, even better to be able to rock that. Okay, we got some shots. We got some shots here. So, I'm going to kill this one. Where the? I didn't shoot a second time. What the fuck? How did that, Okay, we're gonna wait for this overshield to expire. Okay. We're gonna reload here. We're gonna wait until that timer's done just so y'all can see the full potency. I only shot one there. It doesn't proc. It does not proc. So, here, I'll show it again here. Oh, no, I can't. So wait a little bit. Doesn't proc it. So yeah, Volt Shot does not proc no backup plans. However, there is one that automatically does, and that's Chain Reaction. So do keep in mind for, we'll talk a little bit more after, you know, I show what Chain Reaction does, but some of the conditions are quite finicky. Meanwhile, if the ads are close enough, one shot, or instant overshield. One shot, instant refresh overshield. One shot, instant overshield. Chain Reaction is absolutely insane. And the sub-munitions perk on this thing is really good too. It's actually a really solid ad clearing shotgun. Unfortunately, it eats through ammo, but I didn't have much ammo to begin with, so. It also does not require you to have much ammo. Okay. Now we're going to return orbit here. Okay. So you might be asking yourself, Hot Sauce Man, what was the point of doing all of that? By the way, I'm not doing kinetic shotguns because kinetic shotguns really don't have like a chain reaction. I do not know of any that have Firefly. Firefly should work though, or Dragonfly, but I do not believe a single shotgun in the game has that role. Now to be fair, I believed currently, I do not believe Prophet of Doom can actually get chain reaction on it. Um, if I remember correctly, as I talk about this, I am going to be double checking for you really fast. Um, but currently, I believe this shotgun here, Dead Grammaire 4 or whatever. Yeah, okay, I have just confirmed it. It is the only shotgun in the game to get chain reaction. It came out last episode, though, so do keep that in mind. I am assuming we're going to have another one. So, let's talk about each perk individually and why I think, you know, it might work, it might not. Out of the kinetic slots, if you want to use a kinetic shotgun, great, perfectly fine. I would recommend, if you plan for a triple shotgun setup, what I personally recommend is if you're using Legend of Acreus, I do recommend you use a kinetic shotgun and an arc shotgun in your energy slot. Specifically this one, if you can get a hold of a Dead Grammaire with chain reaction, doesn't really matter what the other perk is. Surplus, stats for all, one of those two works. It doesn't really matter that much. But get chain reaction on that thing and sheesh, being able to get that overshield on one shot instead of multiple, so then you can use your abilities a lot more often to get those kills, because if you need a panic overshield, bam, shoot that shot. Now I do have, so base chain reaction, obviously each final blow with this element with this weapon creates an elemental damage explosion. The AoE is kind of large. It is nerfed on Wayframe GLs, but just so I can read what the enhanced version does, because you can enhance the weapon too, which is kind of insane. Um, oh, I think I missed it. Trying to find my forbearance because I don't think I have chain reaction in it. Oh, I do have it on the strand sword, so we'll take a look at it on there. It's gonna be different, for obvious reasons, but actually have it on this. So each final blow with this weapon creates each final, improves ammo reserves. Swords have improved guard endurance. The important part is improved ammo reserves. So that's going to mean that obviously your shotgun's gonna get way more, or it's gonna get a lot more ammo, which is gonna be perfectly great with Legend of Acreus. You only have to have on one siphon, that being Arc Siphon. Great, and your kinetic shotgun can be your DP, or can be your four-pull weapon shotgun or something else. Now, I will say, if you're using tractor cannon, your energy slot can be anything. Your kinetic can be anything. I just say for Acreus, it's going to benefit, like you can have on Arc Surge to improve that shotgun damage as well. Also, this one is really good too because Wild Card has a chance to create elemental sub munitions. Think of them as like little mines. So the potential to spread the AoE even further is really, really good as well. Obviously, I just enhanced it recently. I've not gotten that many kills with it. But let's talk about each one individually. Station shotguns. This is the only one that's craftable, I believe, which is also a little bit of a strange choice. Headstone is really good. It needs to be a slug, though. It cannot be a pellet. I would personally... Headstone is just... It's a little bit of a struggle to get a stasis crystal to spawn from Headstone with the shotgun. It's not that easy. However, if you are good with it, this can absolutely slap. I do wonder if in the future a shotgun can get chill clip. I feel like that has some potential there, like maybe 3 shots freezes. Because you could be in a situation where the shotgun can be like pretty potent, depending on the stasis explosions and whatnot. But as you saw, headstone crystals that are spawned that way do a lot. I think it's better than hatchling. Hatchling is just unfortunately too inconsistent. Uh, it's too inconsistent. Precision final blows, you need those as well, or rapidly defeating targets, so it's a little bit easier to kind of ramp up. But again, do keep in mind, this is not a particularly fantastic origin trait either. So do keep that in mind. I definitely prefer this one. But I have Demolitionist 1-2 Punch on this one. So those are your options there. Headstone is great if you want your kinetic slot to be an ad clearing shotgun. Have it being this particular one. This is unobtainable right now, I believe. I don't know if it actually comes if any of the exotic missions drop it. But this came out during Season of the Plunder. I am assuming one of the exotic missions that rotate does drop it. But this one, I heavily recommend y'all to use it if you do not have it, if you just want to use a kinetic shotgun as your ad clearing option. Other than that, just slap a shotgun. If you're using tractor cannon, I would suggest 1-2 punch. Uh, because obviously that's gonna be your big DPS dealer. But if you have Legend of Acreus, either someday with Lead from Gold Vorpal Weapon, the origin tray is negligible here, but you know it's relatively fine. You could also here's a few other kinetic options. Wastelander with Pugilist Vorpal Weapon. If your melee is shield throw, bam, is gonna help you get that a little bit faster. And Hot Swap is fine, but it's not particularly necessary for this thing. Obviously, Heritage is a great option, very solid. Um, until its return, if you have this, is okay. I personally am not a huge fan of the shotgun, though. So those are your options for the kinetic slot. Now, your energy slot for a triple shotgun build is the most important. Slayer's Fang is not good enough at ad clearing. As you saw, I can do way better at just getting an instant overshield with chain reaction. So essentially what I can do is I can clear a bunch of enemies with Grimaire, get that overshield, and then use Legend of Acreus immediately after. And with Legend of Acreus, I can start running up towards the boss, shield throw to get a little bit of an overshield, and then start going ham with Acreus because a shield throw does proc Trench Barrel. It does. This is why I prefer using shield throw. Shield throw does proc Trench Barrel, so that is something to keep in mind. But chain reaction is the easiest to get by far. I would say after that would be destabilizing rounds. Destabilizing rounds is pretty solid. However, you do have to make sure you shoot the volatile target. You shoot to make all the enemies volatile, then you shoot one of them. Then that'll give you your overshield for you. However, if you melee them instead, it's not going to give it to you. However, if you already have Offensive Bulwark active, I believe this is the one. Yes. So if you already have Offensive Bulwark, meleeing them is not necessarily a bad idea because it's going to restore actually quite a bit of your overshield because that melee hit is going to count for all those volatile explosions. So Offensive Bulwark is actually pretty solid with this. However, if you are not using Offensive Bulwark and you're using, let's say, Controlled Demolition, that's not going to be great for you necessarily. But destabilizing around is pretty solid. Scavenger's Fate is not the only shotgun that can get this. Nessa's Obligation can get that role as well. Now, Incandescent, as you saw, is a little bit finicky because of how Scorch works. If the enemy dies by Scorch, then that will count. However, if the target dies from Ignitions, it's going to be a little bit harder for you. That being said, it's not terrible though. I just prefer personally chain reaction. I would say in the energy slot, the only wrong move you can make is using Volt Shot. Volt Shot is really bad. Volt Shot is pretty damn bad. Yeah, you can apply it on a beefier target and that'll act clear for you, but as you saw there, the Volt Shot itself, if the enemies that die from the electricity, does not count. It does not count. Because in a way, you're applying the elemental debuff, and that debuff is killing enemies. Meanwhile, with Incandescent, the Scorch itself is killing the enemies there. I don't recommend Incandescent. And with Volatile Rounds, the Volatile Rounds does apply the Volatile debuff. However, you are setting off that debuff with your melee or your shotgun. So that's the exception with Volt Shot. Now, I will say Chain Reaction is flat the best, but Destabilizer Rounds is the number 2. Incandescent is the number 3 for in terms of order of elemental perks there. Um, so there's that. There's a quick PSA on shotguns and also there what does and does not proc no backup plans. So do keep that in mind. This is another reason why I cannot recommend Slayer's Fang is because having a clear shotgun, we have those now. And Repulsor's Brace is not that good. Repulsor's Brace is just flat out not that good. I would suggest if I don't know if a roller does exist, but Void Shotgun with Destabilizing Pugilist, if that even exists, I don't know. But if that exists, that is going to be the absolute god roll for No Backup Plan Titan. So you can get your shield throw super quickly and get that over shield to proc things like Trench Barrel and 1-2 punch, I believe, procs off of it too. Well, hitting an enemy will increase your shield throw's damage, but Trench Barrel it procs though. So yeah, on that note though, thanks for tuning in. This is not an actual build or anything, but just a quick PSA on shotguns. Anyways, though, I will see y'all in less than 30 minutes.